The sky above Jamaica had darkened to an unearthly green-black. Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 monster, barreled across the Caribbean, its sustained winds of 185 miles per hour, 298 kilometers per hour, tearing through the island like a freight train. October 28, 2025, would mark a day that Jamaicans would never forget. Storm surge licked the southern coastline, swallowing roads and creeping toward homes, while torrential rains threatened flash floods and landslides, particularly in the island's mountainous terrain. And yet many still wondered, could anyone survive the full fury of this storm?
I don't know.
Across St. Elizabeth Parish, the first gusts rattled windows and tore at roofs. The southern coastline faced a storm surge up to 15 feet, 4.5 meters, inundating towns and severing access to key infrastructure. Despite urgent government warnings, only 133 of Jamaica's 800 emergency shelters were occupied. Many residents chose to ride out the storm, unaware of the devastation headed their way. What would be left when the eyewall passed? From Kingston to Montego Bay, power grids failed, plunging neighborhoods into darkness. Telecommunication networks went offline, leaving families isolated and authorities struggling to coordinate relief. Bridges collapsed, roads were blocked by debris and fallen trees, and emergency response vehicles could barely reach affected areas. Norman Manley International Airport and Montego Bay's airport were closed, stranding tourists and preventing relief flights from landing. The island seemed poised on the brink of total isolation. By midday, 3 fatalities had been confirmed in Jamaica, with dozens missing, while neighboring Haiti and the Dominican Republic reported 4 deaths. The Red Cross estimated 1.5 million people in Jamaica could be directly affected. Hospitals overflowed and emergency shelters reached full capacity.
Oh, damn, this tornado.
Across the island, rainfall totals exceeded 20 inches, 500 millimeters in many areas, causing catastrophic flooding and landslides. The question hanging over everyone's minds, how many more would be trapped or lost before help arrived? The eyewall of Hurricane Melissa tore from south to north, leaving a trail of devastation in its path. Entire communities were cut off as roads washed away and bridges collapsed. Agricultural lands were submerged, homes flattened, and critical infrastructure crippled. Power lines snapped, leaving more than 240,000 customers without electricity. Telecommunications suffered too, with network connectivity in parts of Hanover dropping to just 2%, while other regions struggled between 53% and 86%. In Kingston, university students transformed dormitories into makeshift shelters, while in Black River, residents formed human chains to rescue neighbors trapped in rising waters. The government deployed the Jamaican Defense Force to assist with evacuations, distribute aid, and maintain order. Yet the scale of the disaster meant that emergency crews could not reach all affected communities. Officials warned that infrastructure could remain impaired for days or even weeks. And still, Melissa raged on. Climatologists tracking Melissa noted the storm's rapid intensification, a textbook example fueled by unusually warm Caribbean waters and slow steering currents. The hurricane evolved from a tropical system to a Category 5 superstorm in just a single day, reaching a central pressure of nearly 892 millibars, which is stronger than Hurricane Katrina at its peak. Meteorologists warned that coastal residents in Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas remained at risk as Melissa carved a path of destruction northeastward. Could any region withstand what Jamaica had just endured? Across the island, flooding displaced wildlife, including crocodiles, posing a further danger to those navigating floodwaters. Residents in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and St. Thomas were urged to remain vigilant. Officials emphasized keeping children and pets away from floodwaters, while international agencies like the UN and Red Cross mobilized relief operations despite airport closures and damaged ports. In Kingston, the storm's approach intensified. Senior lecturer Lewis Ray Harris reported losing power as winds picked up significantly, shaking buildings and rattling roofs. In the Northwest, hotel staff and visitors hunkered down as gusts tore through the landscape. Trees were uprooted and the ocean surged violently, demonstrating the storm's immense power. The island's fate was uncertain, and with each passing hour, the full scale of destruction remained hidden. The devastation mirrored the most destructive hurricanes in Jamaican history. Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, a Category 4 storm with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, killed 49 people. Melissa dwarfed past storms, leaving billions of dollars in preliminary losses and a humanitarian crisis affecting millions. Emergency alerts warned that while Melissa might weaken slightly over mountainous terrain, it would likely remain a major hurricane, Category 3 or above, upon reaching Cuba, threatening further destruction. International support began mobilizing. The UN prepared over 2,000 relief kits to be flown into Jamaica once airports reopened. Neighboring Caribbean nations, including Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and the Bahamas, pledged aid, while relief flights from the US, UK, and Canada were readied. Social media campaigns such as #HelpJamaica raised funds and awareness worldwide. But could aid reach the most isolated communities in time? In the southern parishes, residents faced life-threatening flash floods and landslides. Roads washed away under the torrent of rain, homes were torn apart, and electricity remained out for vast swaths of the island. Crops, a lifeline for communities, were decimated, while ports and airports lay in ruins. The scale of the destruction challenged emergency responders and left many isolated, highlighting the storm's catastrophic reach. As Melissa moved north, the storm's legacy became clear. For Jamaica's 2.8 million residents, survival was only the beginning. The storm tested every aspect of infrastructure and preparedness. Rebuilding would require not just restoration of homes, roads, and power, but reinforcement against future supercharged storms, a grim reminder of climate change's increasing role in extreme weather. Prime Minister Andrew Holness called the hurricane a national catastrophe of historic proportions, urging citizens to remain calm and follow official guidance. His message echoed that of Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government. Jamaica, this is not the time to be brave. Don't bet against Melissa. It is a bet we can't win. The warnings were clear, yet the human spirit shone through as communities banded together, forming chains, sharing supplies, and protecting one another in the storm's merciless wake. By nightfall, Kingston and the surrounding areas endured storm-force winds and record-breaking rainfall, with flash floods swallowing streets and entire neighborhoods. The eye of Melissa passed, but the aftermath would linger for months, perhaps years. Homes needed rebuilding, power lines had to be rewired, mountainsides stabilized, and emergency planning rethought. And even as Jamaicans emerged from shelters, The question remained in the air. What would the next storm bring? Could lessons learned from Melissa prevent another catastrophe? Or was this the new reality for a warming world?